Hey guys, it's Nick, and in this video, I want to talk about what's going on with Cathie Wood and Zillow stock. For all you busy CEOs out there, I will give you the executive summary so you can skip the rest of the video. On Tuesday, with Zillow stock down on bad news, Cathie Woods added to her position to kind of average down on the stock, so she bought $25 million worth, or about 288,000 shares. Zillow reported huge losses on their home flipping program, Zillow Offers. Because of this, the stock dropped about 20% on Wednesday. And Cathie Woods dumped not just the stock they bought the day before, but all 3.9 million shares of Zillow stock that the ARK Funds owns. Now, Zillow lost about $380 million in its home flipping program in the third quarter. And it is quite possible that Cathie Wood lost more than that from Zillow's peak to where she sold it on Wednesday. So should we start a GoFundMe for Cathie Wood and the CEO of Zillow? No, they'll be just fine because they used other people's money to do this. Your money. And that's why I tell people don't follow whoever the so-called guru of the day is. And since people have a real short memory, let's go take a look back to see where Cathie Wood was buying a lot of this Zillow stock at its peak. And let's see where other so-called gurus like Kramer were telling people to buy Zillow stock. So Zero Hedge said Cathie Wood bought 25 million of Zillow on Tuesday before the stock cratered another 20% today. So Cathie Wood bought 288,000 shares, or about 25 million, after the stock dropped 10% on Tuesday. I guess she thought it was kind of a bargain or a discount to get it at 10% off, or she was trying to average down to her already huge position in Zillow. But a day later, she dumps 3.9 million Zillow shares. And those shares were worth about 255 million at the time that they sold them. So here's Zillow's chart. It peaked around 203 in February and went as low as about 65. That's about a 65% drop. And so just the drop from its October 29th price of around 106 down to about 65 is about a $120 million drop on the 3.6 million shares that they owned before they scooped up the other 288,000 shares. Now, I don't know how long Cathie Wood held Zillow as it declined from 203 down to about 65, but in this March 4th, 2021 article, they say ETF star Cathie Wood made a huge purchase of 450,000 shares of Zillow, which at the time was about $68 million, which equates to about $151 a share. So she bought it somewhere around this level here. Now, did she hold it all the way down to this decline here when they sold everything? Maybe, maybe not. They might have traded in and out a little bit. There's some peaks and valleys along the way. Now, it seems to me a bigger problem for Cathie Wood is not how much she lost on this Zillow trade. The bigger problem is that the shine is starting to fade off her so-called guru status. And so not only are her funds not doing well this year, but these articles highlighting this erratic trading and holding these losing positions and then dumping all the way down at the bottom, I'm sure it's making some investors in her funds rethink her so-called stock picking genius. It almost makes them look erratic or impulsive in their decision-making process. Also, this bad news about Zillow wasn't new. If you look at the stock price from the peak of 200 down to before the really bad earnings started coming out, the stock already dropped 50%. So people knew kind of what was up and the stock reflected that. So it seems the people at ARK just turned a blind eye to the red flags at Zillow. And this didn't happen overnight. The big red flag started over a month ago when Zillow said that they're going to pause their Zillow Offers program until the end of the year because of a so-called labor shortage. And then just a few days before they reported earnings, there were news reports saying that there were rumors that Zillow was shopping around 7,000 houses that they were trying to unload in big bundles for about $2.8 billion. And then just a few days later, Zillow came out with their earnings and said they lost $380 million in the house flipping part of the business and that they were shutting down Zillow Offers for good.
I got to shut the studio down, yo.
So with all this bad news coming out, the stock being down 50% from its peak or more, you would think that the people at ARK really thought about this and contemplated and did their homework and had a plan that they believed in, and that's why they continued to buy another like 10% of their position when the stock dropped 10% on Tuesday. Now, if that was the end of it and they said, yeah, we added 25 million because we still like the stock, we believe in it, blah, 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 that would have been one thing. But to turn around the next day when the stock drops 20% and puke out your whole position, that seems to tell investors that they don't have a plan and they're just kind of trading by the seat of their pants or whatever headline of the day is. And that's not the type of feeling that investors want to have about their investment manager. So I think this Zillow fiasco marks the beginning of the end of the Cathie Wood investment god status. She's not the first and she won't be the last. And if you don't believe me, let's look at a past so-called investment god, Jim Cramer. Everybody used to follow his picks on his show 10, 15 years ago. I don't know if they still follow him now, but let's see what he said about Zillow back in August when it was $200.
If you saw this skit and did the homework, you would have discovered that Zillow is benefiting from what they call the great reshuffling. They've come up with new tools where you can literally sell your house on Zillow with a click, then fix it up and resell it to someone. Customers want simplicity in one click. He goes on to cite the Amazon Prime model as his inspiration, saying, quote, what people want to do is get into their new house. Everything else is an obstacle. To me, it sounds like the perfect time to own the Amazon of housing. And that's Zillow.
So you see, nobody is infallible and nobody has a hot streak forever. So don't follow them blindly, especially when they say earnings don't matter or it's different this time. That may be the case for a little while, but in the long run, fundamentals do matter. So guys, after seeing how Cathie Wood handled this Zillow investment, would you invest in any of her ARK funds? And if you are a current ARK fund investor, are you having second thoughts about their stock picking ability because of their wishy-washiness on Zillow stock? Let me know in the comments below. I'm curious on what people's takeaway is on this whole situation. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys.